It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas Raiders style. Coming into this afternoon, only 2 teams that clinched division titles. The Oakland Raiders looking to be the latest as they host the Carolina Panthers in Week 17, the final week of the regular season here on Fox. The Oakland Raiders come in with a record of 11-4, just a half game ahead of the Denver Broncos in the AFC West. With a win today, not only would they go to 12-4, but they would clinch the AFC West title and earn a first-round bye in the NFL playoffs. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kurt Menefee, along with my partner, Brian Baldinger. And Baldy, you take a look, the Raiders could be part of a group that encompasses 6 different division champions this year.
Well, this league changes year to year. Heck, this league changes week to week. Stick around. It's not over, folks.
Well, the reason that the Oakland Raiders are atop their division right now really has been the play of their offense this season.
Yeah, and specifically, Kurt, the offensive line has been outstanding. They lead the entire National Football League in rushing, 152 yards a game. They cut their sacks from a year ago almost in half. And they're led by the 8-time Pro Bowler at left guard, Steve Wisniewski. But Wiz isn't doing it all by himself this year. At center, Barrett Robbins has been overlooked by all the Pro Bowl voters. At left tackle, Barry Sims has been a stud. In the right side of the field, the right side of that line, Lincoln Kennedy along with Mo Collins, they kind of tip the field. The heavy side has been good as well.
Well, one thing that they have done this year is use running back by committee, but one of them, Tyrone Wheatley, with 20 yards today, will have his first ever 1,000-yard career rushing season. But he's going to have to do it against a Carolina defense that has really been tough lately.
Well, they have been tough, and, you know, they spent the offseason trying to upgrade this defense. They brought in Reggie White, Eric Swan, and Chuck Smith, and that really hasn't worked out all that well. But what has been working out is the young players have been developing. Mike Rucker and Al Lucas on the defensive line. The 7th-round pick, Lester Towns, has been a stud in the middle. And then Rashard Anderson, the #1 pick, and Mike Minner, moved from free safety to strong safety, leads this team in tackles. These young players have developed, they've improved, and they've gotten better.
Well, the Raiders are playing for a division title. The Panthers trying to be the Grinch and steal that away from them on this Christmas Eve.
Hi, Steve Berline of the Carolina Panthers. Wishing everybody out there a happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and a wonderful 2001.
Muhsin Muhammed, Carolina Panthers, just wishing you a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate, and a Happy New Year's.
Hey, on behalf of the Oakland Raiders and the Raider Nation, Merry Christmas to everybody out there in America. God bless you. Ho, ho, ho!
Kurt Menefee, Brian Baldinger with you in Oakland, where we want to welcome those of you who were watching other games and got to see another step in the playoff process taking place. The Rams beating New Orleans, and Detroit losing on that last-second field goal to Chicago means Detroit's out, the Rams are in.
Yeah, and I think the Rams will be dangerous when they get to the playoffs, but I think what we're finding here the last couple of weeks is just because a team has incentive to go and win the game doesn't mean it makes them play better.
It is a perfect December afternoon here in Oakland, 53 degrees. And the Carolina Panthers aren't quite used to this. Their last 3 games all 13 and below as far as wind chill goes.
Well, the Raider Nation, they look ready for today. And, you know, I think the Raiders here today, certainly an awful lot to play for. They'd like to win their first division title here since 1990. Talked to Al Davis before the game, and all Al had to say was, we just want to win, baby. Things haven't changed a lot in the Raider Nation.
He's been saying that for 41 years. The Raiders going for their first division title since 90, first playoff appearance since 93, and the guy they call the Boy Wonder is leading the way in his 3rd year as the head coach, John Gruden. 2 8-8 seasons before reaching the 11-4 mark this year, in line to finish on top of the AFC West, as we have mentioned. He's facing today the winningest active coach as far as percentage goes in the National Football League, George Seifert, the Bay Area native. 2nd year with the Carolina Panthers, off to a 2-5 start last year, finished at 8-8, started at 2-4 this season, and with a win today would finish at 8-8.
Yeah, trying to eliminate the first losing season in his head coaching career.
Our referee today, Mike Carey, will listen to the coin toss.
Captains, and happy holidays. For the toss, this is heads and that's tails. What is your choice? Heads, he calls. Tails it is. You want the ball? Which goal do you want to play? And kick this way, right? All right. Oakland has won the toss. They will receive. All right, fellas, let's get it on.
And so the Oakland Raiders will take the ball first. I think that makes the Raider Nation rather happy.
This Raider offense certainly wants to get off to a good start here today, get the crowd involved in this game. And we've been to 16 different ballparks this year in the 17th week of the season here, Kurt. And this crowd is as juiced as any in the league so far we've been to.
One guy who's probably rather juiced is with our Mindy Bach right now down on the field. Mindy?
Well, Tim, this team needs this win to win its first division title since 1990, but how much does this team also need the first round bye and home field advantage?
Yeah, we're a little beat up right now, including myself, so it's a big game for us. We're all trying to play hurt and get through and get the bye, but we're not thinking about that. We just want to go out and play a good football game. If we do that, we'll win the game.
All right, thanks a lot, Tim. Good luck to you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mindy and Tim.
Plenty of color here at Network Associates Stadium, a place they affectionately call the Bat Cave.
You know, usually people say color and pageantry. I didn't see much pageantry. A lot of color. David Dunn, the deep man, back to take the kick. Dunn right now third in the AFC and sixth in the NFL in kickoff returns. The former Raider Joe Nedney gets the final game of the season kicked off. Dunn from the 5. Finally forced out of bounds by Hannibal Navies at about the 23-yard line. The Raiders led by the Pro Bowler Rich Gannon getting the start for the AFC this season in Hawaii. Up front, we talked about that offensive line in the open. Steve Wisniewski going to his 8th Pro Bowl. In the backfield, once again, Tyrone Wheatley 20 yards away from his 1,000-yard season. Brown and Jet, the receivers. Ricky Dudley is the tight end.
This offensive line has just been outstanding. First of all, they've been healthy. The only injury this year was Matt Stinchcomb at left tackle, but Barry Sims is in there at left tackle now. He's playing so well, they can't get him out of there.
Raiders start first down from the 23. Tyrone Wheatley fights his way out for 5-yard gain. The tackle made by the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, just 2 sacks away from 200 in his NFL career, a mark many people at one time would think unreachable. Lester Towns, the 7th-round draft pick, is the man in the middle as far as the linebackers go. The cornerbacks, Doug Evans and Eric Davis, Eugene Robinson, Mike Minter, the 2 safeties.
Defense gives up a lot of yards, but they tighten up when you get into the red zone.
After the 5-yard gain, Gannon, his first pass. Tipped, incomplete. Ball intended for Tim Brown.
Taking a look at Rich Gannon last week, he threw 3 interceptions up at Husky Stadium at the University of Washington. Just horrible conditions. All of his interceptions, Kirk, came off tip passes. And just watching Rich on tape the last couple of games against the Jets in Seattle, the last thing Rich wants to do is turn the ball over. He'll pull the ball down, he'll run for the first down, move the chains, but he will not throw the ball into coverage.
Gannon only 5 of 17 with the 3 interceptions last week in the loss to Seattle. He's got to get the 33 for the first. Quick pass, they get that and then some. Andre Rison all the way out to the 48-yard line, a gain of 20 and a first down.
Andre Rison working out on the outside against Doug Evans. He turned Evans all the way around, made him trip here. And Andre in his 13th year still got some electric moves. That was actually Jimmy Hitchcock on the outside. Andre Rison, who has a bad taste in his mouth of what happened to Kansas City, kind of using that as a chip on his shoulder and as some incentive.
Playing with his 7th different team. Gannon with time. Pass caught right out at the 42-yard line by James Jett.
James Jett now, working against Eric Davis down here at the bottom. Eric Davis looking inside at Rich Gannon. And James Jett, who has been molded into a good receiver by John Gruden. I mean, fundamentally all sound. I mean, at one point everybody thought just a track athlete, a guy that runs fast and runs people off and is a decoy, has now become a good receiver.
11 yards on the play, first down at the 42. Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley doesn't get much, picking up 2 yards. Lee Woodall on the tackle.
We talked to Tyrone Wheatley on Friday, and Kurt, I know you know him from New York. I mean, a completely different back than the guy that spent 4 years in New York. And the big part, I think, is just his confidence. It's so great right now behind a very, very good offensive line where he really feels like there's going to be a hole when he hits it. So he hits that line of scrimmage full speed. And he says if you keep doing it, you keep doing it, eventually the seas are going to part and there's going to be an opening.
Wheatley steps out. Terry Kirby now in the backfield.
5th different running back this year for the Raiders.
Little dump pass. Gannon to Kirby. His first touch of the football as a Raider. Picks up 9 more. Eric Davis with the tackle.
No, this running back by committee, they call it the robo back. You know, it started off with Napoleon Kaufman and Tyrone Wheatley. Kaufman out with a quad bruise. So then they started bringing in Randy Jordan, who's been a stud. Sometimes you can't tell if it's Jordan or Kaufman in the backfield. Zach Crockett's carried it back there. Now Kirby just brought in here a couple weeks ago. A couple weeks to learn Gruden's system. Now spilling Tyrone Wheatley back there.
First down from the 31. Gannon to the air again. To Kirby again. Tries to slip in a couple of tackles. Picks up 5 yards. Lee Woodall and Eric Davis brings him down at the 26.
You know, what you're seeing from this Raider offense right now, Curtis, what made him so difficult to defend, balance. This team right here, there it is. You've seen the improvement to 50-50 this year run-pass. You don't really know which way to play it. Stack the line of scrimmage with 8 men in the box. Gannon will get outside, hit Tim Brown, Andre Rison like he has. You play back coverage, and boy, you open up cracks in the middle for some of these running backs.
8th play of the drive coming up. Tyrone Wheatley back in at tailback, runs right through the line, and there you see, running full speed, like you said, Baldy gets down to the 17-yard line for a gain of 9.
Well, the Raiders run this play as well as any team in football. Watch the 8-time Pro Bowler at left guard right here, Wisniewski. He's going to pull and lead as they get a good double team right here at the point with Collins and Kennedy. Now look at that hole by Wheatley. One cut, and he's to the safeties. That's why one of the reasons why this team leads the entire National Football League in rushing. And they're fun to watch up front, especially if you're an old offensive lineman.
Wheatley deep in the eye on first down. Gets the handoff and the carry. Tyrone Wheatley inside the 10, down to the 5. Eugene Robinson with the tackle, 13 yards on the play, and Wheatley goes over that 1,000-yard mark for the season.
Making it look pretty easy, but this is where this Carolina defense, Kurt, this year has really stiffened. They've been giving up yards like this all year long. 22 different times this year a team has gotten inside the 20-yard line and come away with no points. And that's one of the reasons why this Carolina defense is 9th in the league in points given up. Somehow the signal goes off right here that they've got to bone up and play better and tighter, and they usually do.
Raiders first and goal from the 6. Tyrone Wheatley dances down to about the 4-yard line. Lee Woodall with the tackle. Wheatley now 5 carries, 29 yards on the day.
Oh yeah, and on bad legs too. You know, everybody said, oh, he's beat up, he's got a bad toe. He hyperextended his knee last week, but he practiced all week, and John Gruden has just been in love with his toughness. No, here it is. I mean, only the 8th different rusher in the Raiders' 34-year history to go over 1,000 yards.
Second and goal from the 4-yard line. Wheatley gets the carry again, hit right at the line of scrimmage by Lester Towns. Falls forward for a gain of maybe 1 yard.
This is like we said, you know, the Carolina defense gets tough down here. Right here in the middle, you see Al Lucas, one of the young guys, and Mike Rucker right here. Do a good job. You see, Barrett Robbins right here got too high. He got pushed into the backfield. Al Lucas got underneath him, got penetration, and knocked him in the backfield. That's the first thing that will kill a running play. Defensive line penetration.
No gain on the play, so it's 3rd and goal from the 4. Play number 12 on the drive. Gannon, all kinds of time, finds a man in the end zone. Touchdown, Jeremy Brigham.
First touchdown of the season for Jeremy Brigham. Probably the last guy you'd look to defend in that situation, a guy that hasn't scored all season. You have a feeling that these fans in this stadium would give up all the Christmas gifts for a Raider win here today so they can come back for a home playoff game.
Sebastian Janikowski on to attempt the extra point. Right down the middle. And just like that, the Raiders take the first possession of the ball game, finish it up in a Rich Gannon to Jeremy Brigham touchdown for a 7-0 lead. Raider Nation standing and saluting so far. Raiders take the opening drive of the ball game, 77 yards for a 7-0 lead. Sebastian Janikowski, their #1 pick, set to kick off after the Jeremy Brigham touchdown.
Gannon extremely sharp to start the game.
That ball goes out of bounds, and so it will be spotted at the 40, and kickoffs have been Janikowski's problem of late.
Gruden just staring at Janikowski.
Kickoff illegally out of bounds by the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. First down. Timeout.
That's 27 straight kickoffs that Janikowski has failed to put it in the end zone. Not what they expected when they drafted him in round #1. On that first drive, Rich Gannon leading the troops, hitting 4 different receivers on 5 of 6 passing. But now it's Steve Berline and the Panthers' turn. He hands it off. Chris Hetherington slips through the line of scrimmage. A gain of 11 out across midfield in the first down.
Got a flag on the play here, Kurt. Mike Carey, first action of the day here.
Face mask called against the Raiders, going to add some yardage to the 11-yard pickup.
The Raiders 2 early penalties here. Had the kickoff out of bounds by Janikowski, giving Carolina great field position, and now Carolina quickly one play.
Personal foul. Major face mask on the defense from the middle of the pile. 15 yards from the dead ball spot. Automatic. First down.
So 15 more added.
There's Hetherington coming in.
William Thomas.
No, I never even grabbed the face mask. All he got was the shoulder pad. They just saw the head come backwards. Oh, that was a bad phantom call right there. Never got a look at the hand not hitting the face mask.
So it winds up being a 26-yard gain when you add the 11-yard pickup. Ball's at the 35. Berline to the air. Chris Mangum tried to one-hand it but couldn't make the grab. Anthony Dorsett on the coverage.
Here's a touchdown, Kurt. Tim Brown's going to come across the formation here, and Jeremy Brigham, the tight end spread out, is going to come underneath against the zone. It's actually well covered here. But Rich Gannon, starting in the Pro Bowl, throws a perfect strike, and then Brigham showing a nice touch on the jump shot. The hand was in the basket, the fadeaway. I'll give him 2 on that also.
Well, now you went to Duke, and they lost to Stanford the other night, so I don't know if you have the right to critique jump shots.
They play that at the end of March, that Duke Invitational, Kurt.
Berline, under pressure, goes down. First sack of the day. Grady Jackson. Jackson leads this team with 7.5 sacks from his defensive tackle slot. Of course, Berline standing in the pocket, his 44th consecutive game as the starter. Up front for him, James Dexter gets the start at left guard, replacing the injured Matt Campbell. And in the backfield, Tamanga Biaka-Matuka is back for the second week after that ankle injury that forced him to miss 4 weeks earlier in the season. They lose 6 yards on the play, third down. They've got to get to the 25 for the first. Biaka-Matuka out of the backfield with the blocker in front. Steps out of bounds, going to be short of the first down marker. Forced out at the 28 by Anthony Dorsett for a gain of 12, but they needed 16. So brings on the field goal unit, Joe Nedney, who was with the Raiders for 3 games last season and in training camp this year before being released after they drafted Sebastian Janikowski.
Heck, he was with Denver earlier this season. He beat the Raiders right here, kicking 4 field goals that day.
This one from 46 yards away. And it's good. So Joe Nedney with the 46-yard field goal gets the Carolinas on the scoreboard. It's 7-3 still in the first quarter. Joe Nedney to kick it off. Short kick by him, taken by David Dunn at the 14. lost his footing, but no one touched him while he was down, so he's going to be backed up all the way to the 20. Well, the great Jack London couldn't have written a much better scenario. The Oakland Raiders must win today in order to win the AFC West title for the first time in 10 years.
Heck, I don't think they could have written a better script for the entire National Football League season. The twists and turns and how it changes every week here in this league.
They gave Dunn his forward progress, so the Raiders begin at the 24. Gannon to the air again. Dumps it off. Ray Crockett. Pardon me, Zach Crockett. I'm talking about his brother Ray. Zach Crockett, the fullback, makes the grab. Look at the scores from around the league. You see the Redskins finally get a win under Terry Robisky. Philadelphia closes out the season with a victory. The big game, the Rams beat New Orleans 26-21. You see Miami wins the AFC East. But that Rams victory big because Detroit lost to Chicago, meaning the Rams clinched the 6th and final playoff spot in the NFC.
And it looks like Tampa Bay still can't win in the cold weather.
And the Jets lose to Baltimore. Baltimore wrapping up that record for fewest points in a season. Tyrone Wheatley with a short carry gets the first down out to the 35-yard line.
This knocks Detroit out of the playoffs right here. Philip Ettinger winning field goal for Chicago. And Kurt, I see this every single season. There's always something to play for. The Bears, who looked like they were dead a couple of weeks ago, big wins against Indianapolis. They're on the road in Detroit this weekend, knocking the Lions out. They feel good going back to the Windy City.
First down for the Raiders from the 35. Rich Gannon. Pass wide open to his tight end, Ricky Dudley. Dudley finally forced out of bounds after a pickup of 8 by Eric Davis.
Just watching Tyrone Wheatley limp off the field. He had 26 carries last week. His last one, he twisted his knee. He's coming off, and Randy Jordan in there right now in the backfield.
Well, remember, not only the twisted knee last week, but he was playing with 2 twisted ankles before that.
Yeah. Been playing hurt all year, and he said, look, don't talk about my injuries. I'm a pro. I'm going to go out there and play. I'm going to give it everything I've got. I want the Western Division title. Gannon changed the play here at the line of scrimmage.
Gannon, his 8th straight pass, tipped to the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Doug Evans thought he had made the interception, but it's ruled an incompletion.
Well, that's how 3 of his passes were intercepted last week off tips. This is what the change of audible sounds like. One of the reasons why John Gruden absolutely loves Rich Gannon is his ability to communicate in the huddle, at the line of scrimmage, coming off the field and talking to him. They feel like they talk the same language, that of a Philly cab driver.
I don't know if you can understand that language half the time. Gannon on 3rd down, little dump. Ricky Dudley needs the 45, tries to stretch, and looks like he got it. Lester Towns with the tackle. As usual, this will depend on the spot.
Well, this is what has made Gannon a candidate to be the MVP in the league this year. First of all, he gets all kinds of time. I mean, he's back there right now, and he can call a cab like that. Here's Dudley now stretching out that 6'6" frame. Nice job of knowing how far he has to get for this first down. The rookie Lester Towns trying to bring him down. It'll be a very close spot.
He had to get the ball right on top of the 45-yard line in order to get the first down. You see the measurement here, and he looks like he made it by just the nose of the football. First down, Raiders.
Here's that Philly cab driver. This is what the Raiders have done offensively with Gannon driving that cab. You know, leads the league in rushing. There you see his yards per game, 6th best offense right now in the league, and Gannon's completion percentage.
Do you have to tip a Philly cab driver?
yeah, Gannon will give you a couple of tips now. Line up right.
On first down, Terry Kirby. His first carry as a Raider. Picks up about a half yard. Jay Williams with the tackle.
Jay Williams has been a good surprise here for this Carolina Panthers. We mentioned a lot of the young players stepping up and playing well for this Panther defense. Jay Williams, one of those free agents that wasn't really highly sought after.
Former Ram.
Yeah, former Ram, and was in the Super Bowl last year. Leads this team in sacks. Been playing both right end and left end this year. Been a good performer. Reggie White in here right now at the bottom.
Raiders with 3 wide receivers. Gannon. Terry Kirby. Spin move. Brought down right at the 50-yard line, but a nice 5-yard pickup before Eric Davis and Mike Minter brought him down.
Rich Gannon, you know, just a smart quarterback. Understands this defense in the league. Understands coverages. Going to find a safety valve here, knowing that everybody here is pretty well covered. Covered here in the middle of the field, and here's the safety valve here. Smart play. Take what the defense will give you. Go to the next down.
Another 3rd down situation for the Raiders, who have converted on all 3 so far today. They've got to get the 45 for the first. Gannon. Quick pass, Tim Brown there. Leans forward, first down. 7 yards on the pass.
The Panthers only rushed 3 that time. They dropped 8 into coverage. Here's Sean Gilbert playing his best football of his career, working the middle against Barrett Robbins and Steve Wisniewski. And Mo Collins there. I mean, there's no penetration in the middle of that offensive line, allowing Tim Brown to work on Eric Davis. Just sitting down in the zone and then getting down, knowing he'd already picked enough for the first down.
Ball at the 44-yard line. Tyrone Wheatley back in, and running back. They fake the handoff to him and go. Up top, James Jett. Steps out of bounds at the 25. 18 more. Eric Davis forced him out.
Well, when you get the running game going the way the Raiders do, and they have this year, the play-action pass becomes very effective. James Jett with jet-type speed at the bottom of the picture here, working against Eric Davis. Watch him run Eric Davis off. You've got to respect the speed now. Davis is running. That's a great pattern. Ran Eric Davis off, got his hips turned to where he had to run, then came back to the football.
On first down, Gannon scrambling. This is what he does so well, into the open field. Scoots out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Penalty marker down on the play, but it was a 19-yard gain if it stands. The penalty marker in the backfield, and it looks like it's going to be holding against the Raiders, so it'll come back.
Yeah, Lincoln Kennedy has his hands on his hip.
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10 yards, remains first down.
Calls on Mo Collins. Kennedy and the rest of the team can't believe they lose the big game.
Well, Mo Collins right here in the middle. That right guard working on Tim Morabito. Morabito trying to club Collins. No, it looks pretty good. Looks like his hands were inside. Actually, Morabito got a club in. Maybe that right hand on the outside shoulder pad is what they saw. Gannon's motif there is get the first down and get down.
Another penalty for the Raiders. About 29 yards if you take away the run.
Eric Davis wanted his 6th interception of the year, and he was looking for 6. He jumped that route that time. Run on the outside by Kirby. Will Davis, who has 5 interceptions this year for the 5th year in his career.
Yeah, he's been very consistent. 5 years in a row, as a matter of fact, that he's had 5 interceptions.
Really, I mean, you know, Pro Bowl consideration for a guy that's been there twice this year. That team was in the playoffs. I think Eric Davis would be in the Pro Bowl as well.
2nd and long. Tim Brown goes in motion. They hand it off to Randy Jordan. Gets around the end for a pickup of about 4 yards. Alvin McKinley and Hannibal Navies with the tackle.
One of the things that John Gruden loves to do in this offense is he runs a lot of reverse motion. Here's Tim Brown coming out here. What it does is it holds this defensive end right here. They never block him. He has to respect this reverse. This is the 4th time they've done this today. Here's this end frozen by this reverse. If they give the ball to Tim Brown, he has to make the play. That time it kept Reggie White at bay. It's another way of blocking an end without physically having to block it.
Raiders on 3rd down need the 15 for the first. James Jett with his third catch of the afternoon. Not going to get there. Brought down at the 24-yard line. A gain of 7, going to be about 9 yards short.
Well, here comes the new folk hero here in Oakland.
Oh, they love him, don't they?
Yeah, Sebastian Janikowski. We watched him before the game, Kurt. He does everything fast. And he's like a pitcher that gets the ball in his hand and he's ready to throw. Before the batter's in the box, he's ready. One of the things they've done here to help him is they've slowed him down.
Or tried to slow him down.
Tried to slow him down.
Well, there's one way to slow him down, the end of the first quarter. That'll make him think of it. Raiders on top of the Panthers 7-3. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Sebastian Janikowski from 41 yards away adds 3 more on the board, and the Raiders take a 10-3 lead. Bates deep to receive this. Instead, it's going to go to Isaac Byrd. Gets out to the 28-yard line. There you see the NFC playoff picture. It is all complete. All 6 teams are in. The Giants and Minnesota get the first-round byes.
Well, look at St. Louis and New Orleans. Got to go back-to-back now. St. Louis might as well just stay down in New Orleans. Get ready for next Sunday's game.
How tough is that? You're a division opponent, first of all, so you've already seen each other twice. Then you saw them just the week before. Who has the advantage, if anybody?
Yeah, Kurt, it's like baseball. You got to go play the rubber match right now. Both teams very familiar with each other.
Carolina starts at the 28-yard line. The pitch to Tamanga Batuka. He's got blockers in front of him. Slips a tackle across midfield, all the way down to the Oakland 40. Eric Allen finally hauls him in, but give Batuka 32 yards.
I had minus yards last week after sitting out for a month with turf toe. Smart play here by the Panthers. As they pin everybody inside here, they pin Elijah Alexander in here with the down block from the outside. They pull their lineman out front. Good job by Muhsin Muhammed. Right there, Jamar Nesbitt getting Batuka outside, letting him use his speed. You know, if the Panthers have a chance today, they have to play much better up front with their offensive line.
He gets the first down at the Oakland 40. Burline. Pass caught. Muhsin Muhammed, stiff arm, gets the first down. 12 yards on the play.
You know, I mean, Batuka has been maligned here in his 5th year here in Carolina, has not been able to stay healthy. And it's certainly this offseason, they have to take a look at that running back position. But here, good job by Chris Terry getting out. One thing that Batuka has, he has speed, and he has the ability in the open field to make people miss.
First down from the 28. Brad Hoover now in as the tailback. Gets the carry. Fights his way for 2 yards. Elijah Alexander on the tackle.
When the Raiders play suffocating defense, their defensive line comes to play. Darrell Russell, Grady Jackson, those guys get penetration and they stuff offensive lines. Right now, I think this Panther offensive line is taking it to them. When this team has led up in the 4th quarter this year, I think it's been the defensive line that has led up. Darrell Russell with Pro Bowl type talent doesn't always play up to that talent.
After the 2-yard gain, Brad Hoover alone in the backfield, now spreads out, empty backfield. Movement early before the ball was snapped, and Steve Burline brought down another penalty marker, comes out with it.
Now Josh Taves, the left end, he got the early jump.
False start. Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
So the second marker just confirming the first, I guess.
Taves jumping on Casey Crawford, who flinched at the line of scrimmage. Right here, and here's Josh Taves. I mean, he's just reacting to what he saw in front of him. There it is. Didn't take much, did it?
No.
But that's what you are as a defensive lineman. I mean, you're sensitive to any movement. Ticking time bomb up front.
First penalty of the game against Carolina, backs him up 5, so it's 2nd and 13. Burline in traffic, gets it off Donald Hayes. Spins free. Some nice moves by Hayes to get 20 yards on the play down to the 11.
Well, what they'd love to do in Carolina is run crossing routes because the receivers are big. You're going to see here against the zone. Donald Hayes just going across the middle of the field, using all the interference as screens. Now Carolina inside that red zone. They'll play a lot more zone down here right now. So you'll get the middle of the field open like that. Donald Hayes, a big target. Listed 6'4" there, but a big wingspan and long arms.
First down from the 11-yard line, just outside it. Bianca Batuka caught in the backfield by William Thomas.
What a Willie T timed that perfectly, Kurt. He hesitated just a second, and then he shot the gap. Just a feel from a 10-year veteran in this league. That's Willie Thomas right here. Boom, he's going to take that gap. Jamar Nesbitt, the right guard responsible for, never saw him. Willie T has been a great addition to this team. He was out there on the street cut loose by Philadelphia. But John Gruden knew him from Philadelphia when he was the offensive coordinator there. Been a big impact this year with his 6 interceptions.
Yeah, leads all linebackers in the NFL in kicks. After the loss, it's 2nd and 14. Burline gets it off. Brad Hoover stays on his feet all the way down to the 7-yard line. Torrey James tripped him up. 9-yard pickup.
This offensive line, who's given up more sacks than any other group in the league this year, doing a pretty good job up front right now. You see Chris Terry working on Josh Taves. That's a pretty good pocket for Burline to step into. Reagan Upshaw comes in late, but one thing Burline will do is he will stay in there, look down the barrel of a gun, take his shots because he has to. He's not mobile like Rich Gannon or Donovan McNabb or Dante Culpepper. He has to stay in there and take shots like that to survive.
Well, and at some point he's going to be relieved today by the backup, Jeff Lewis. Gets the pass off. Chris Mangum hit as he caught it. Ball out.
No, it's incomplete.
They call it an incomplete pass. But what a hit by Elijah Alexander to break that one up.
Well, another player that the Raiders brought in, along with Willie Thomas. Out of football last year, come in and has played great at the strong side linebacker position. Here's Mangum coming across the middle here. Boom. Boy, and Alexander just put the head down, put it right on the football. Nice reaction by Alexander. That's a zone defense down there, and you have to react to the football.
So Joe Nedney on to attempt his 2nd field goal of the day. Made the first one from 46 yards away. This one's going to be from 25 out. There's some movement. Looked like Dean Wells on the right side of the line for Carolina jumped early. We'll see.
Encroachment. Defense, number 90. Half the distance to the goal. It remains 4th down.
And that's what happened. He calls it on Grady Jackson.
Short of the line to gain.
There's Grady right there. Contact, which killed the play. You're going to get a free 5 yards here, Kurt. It's going to be 4th and probably a long one. George Seifert, though, not interested in putting the offense back out there on the field.
So
Burline's giving an earful, too.
He's trying to convince him to let him go for it. Instead, they go for the 21-yard field goal now from Nedney. And the former Raider is now 2 for 2, 6 for 6 of the season if you count the 4 field goals he made when he was with Denver. This now 10-6. Each team has had the ball twice. 2 field goals by Joe Nedney for Carolina, a touchdown and a field goal by Sebastian Janikowski, and Oakland owns a 10-6 lead. 10:07 left to go here in the first half.
Both offenses from both teams here are very efficient. 4 drives in the game, 4 scores in the game. The defense able to slow down the offense.
David Dunn from the 6. Hit head on. Penalty markers down on the play, and Dunn is finally brought down at the 25-yard line.
For both these special teams have been vastly improved on both teams. The Raiders right there, Scotty O'Brien, the special teams coach, excellent job here in Carolina. Love the fact that the Raiders will be backed up here.
During the return, holding by the receiving team, number 37. 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down. Timeout.
a penalty called on Johnny Harris, who's not enjoying as happy a holiday as we hope you are. The sights and sounds of Christmas in California. John Gruden in his 3rd year as the head coach here. One of the more intense guys you'll see on the sideline, but also a fun-loving guy as a head coach as well. Tyrone Wheatley bounces it outside. Pickup of 6.
And now John Gruden is in charge of the play calling here. He's got the chart in front of him. He has to call the personnel grouping. He has to call the formation and the play together. Get that all in there in about 12 seconds. And one thing about head coaches, great head coaches, Kurt, is they've got great voices. And you can hear John Gruden articulate above the din of everything else at practice.
Sounds like he's been yelling since he was about 3. Gannon out of the pocket. Pass caught just short by Zach Crockett. Reggie White putting the pressure on Gannon on that play.
Yeah, now, you know, he calls the personnel groupings by the college they went to. So Andre Rison, if he wants him in the game, he'll call him a Spartan, a Michigan State Spartan, or he'll call Tyrone Wheatley, he'll call him Wolverine. And there's the Spartan there. There's the Spartan formation.
Good thing he doesn't have Eric Swan on his team. Swan didn't go to college.
He just says no school.
They need 2 yards on the 3rd down play. Tim Brown goes in motion. Gannon feeling the heat, gets it off. Randy Jordan gets the 1st down.
I tell you, that Randy Jordan, sometimes you can't tell if it's Napoleon Kaufman or Jordan, a guy that was out of football for a year but loves the game. 24 catches this year, only 20 his first 6 years combined. Here he is just slipping out of the backfield working on Lee Woodall. Gannon a lot of time to allow that to develop. And Jordan, who's playing with a really bad turf toe. Jet putting the move right there, that time on Doug Evans. And that stuff goes on and it doesn't get called if it's away from the play.
Gannon has now hit 8 different receivers. 1st down from the 34.
Changing the play here. Trying to.
Timeout. Oakland. They're first.
So as the Raiders take a timeout, we will too. 8:03 left to play here in the 2nd quarter. Guys in our audio crew getting in their Merry Christmas wishes. Raiders handed the ball off to Tyrone Wheatley. Short 2-yard pickup. Tim Morabito with the tackle.
You know, we asked Tyrone Wheatley the other day. It looks like he's gotten faster, Kurt.
It really does.
Yeah, this Raider team has 19 runs this year of 20 yards or more. Most times, offenses have to go to the passing game to create big plays, but Tyrone Wheatley created 8 plays over 20 yards himself this year. When he gets in the open field now, he's heck on wheels to bring down. And look at the difference in the first 4 years versus the last 2 years here in Oakland.
He's out of the game now. Randy Jordan in, picks up the blitz. Ball thrown short, incomplete. Looked like it may have been tipped at the line of scrimmage, intended for Tim Brown.
Well, Carolina can't really get there with their front 4, so they're forced to blitz here this time. You're going to see Lester Towns coming up from the middle along with Eugene Robinson. They both come. And look at the big man here, Sean Gilbert in the middle, taking care of James Jett, and he gets a tip on the ball. Not only does he knock the wide receiver off, but he also tips the ball.
And remember, he was down at the line on the snap. Big man all over the place. On 3rd down, Oakland needing the 44 for the 1st. All kinds of time for Gannon. Zach Crockett fight for the 1st down. Doug Evans with the tackle, but a gain of 10, and they keep moving the chains.
There's no statistic in the NFL, Kurt, for what Rich Gannon just did there. First of all, the offensive line is outstanding here. But now he buys some time here. An accurate throw on the dump off there to Crockett. You can't, it looks like just a completion in the record book and on the stat sheet, but it was a lot more than that because they get the 1st down and move the chains.
Raiders converting 6 of their 7 3rd down plays. Tyrone Wheatley hit at the line of scrimmage. Dean Wells gets him.
Yeah, you know, Lester Towns in the middle there, one of those guys that we talked about in the open, making his 14th start there, just a 7th-round pick out of the University of Washington. And he's one of those guys, a lot like Greg Biekert here in Oakland, another 7th-round pick. He's going to be around the football his whole career. He has a nose for it, loves the game, physically, you know, looks the part too. Game has slowed down for him all year. Had a great season here in Carolina.
They fake the handoff to Wheatley. Pass caught Zach Crockett. Into Panther territory, brought down after the 7-yard gain by Lester Towns.
Zach Crockett getting a chance to play recently because of the injury to John Ritchie. Crockett, the first man through, working on Lester Towns. You know, Rich Gannon just taking what the defense gives him. Of course, you know, the Spartan never happy if he's not getting the football. You know, and the Spartan worked hard this offseason. Heck, he went all the way to Honduras in Central America to get himself in shape this offseason.
3rd and short for the Raiders. Got across the 44, and they do so. Randy Jordan dancing all around before Doug Evans brought him down. But once again, the Raiders get 6 more and another first down.
Well, right now, Carolina can't figure out what to take away from the Raiders. I mean, whatever they're doing right now, Rich Gannon and John Gruden are countering. Great counter-punching right now. They're chewing up the clock. They're holding on to the football. Moving down the field. Nickel and diming.
Ball spotted at the 40-yard line. 13 first downs already for the Raiders this afternoon. Quick handoff, Tyrone Wheatley. Pickup of 3. Make it Terry Kirby now in the game.
Now I'm just watching the center down there, Barrett Robinson. He's a guy that this whole team has been really proclaiming Pro Bowl status for the last 3 years. But in his 5th year out of TCU right now, first of all, I think he's the biggest center in the league. And when I mean big, I don't know what he weighs. He's 320, 330, but he's a wide tractor load, Kurt. He's about 4 feet wide at his hips. And he takes up a lot of space in there, that time taking Sean Gilbert out of the picture.
Gannon pump fake. All kinds of time going deep towards the end zone, intended for Tim Brown, but broke it up. Penalty marker comes out late. Eugene Robinson was the guy on the coverage. Preliminary signal, pass interference.
But Tim Brown was probably the last alternative for Rich Gannon, but because of the protection provided by Barrett Robinson and Wisniewski up front, he had all kinds of time to find Brown down the field.
Pass interference. Defense number 41. Automatic. First down.
Gannon putting his arm behind this one. Eugene Robinson coming in from the safety position. Bumped him before that. Incidental contact. You can't tell. If Eugene Robinson was turned back and looking at the football in that situation, they shouldn't throw the flag.
So calling a 35-yard penalty. They spot the ball at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal. Tyrone Wheatley, the deep man in the backfield, gets the handoff and met by Sean Gilbert.
Kind of a cheap way for the Raiders to get down there to the goal line. This Panther team, that was only the 4th pass interference penalty all year on. Running behind the right side, Mo Collins and Lincoln Kennedy here, with Wisniewski getting airborne. The left guard pulling around as well. There's Steve pulling around. Watch him get airborne. Kind of launched himself, but everybody kind of flying around in the air there. Lester Towns coming over the top from the defensive side.
No gain. Wheatley behind Zach Crockett again. They fake the handoff this time. Gannon, easy pass into the end zone. Penalty flag is down, but the pass caught by Ricky Dudley.
Tremendous play action fake by Tyrone Wheatley.
There's no foul on the play. All of the action was legal. Touchdown.
Oh, there you go. Touchdown, Oakland Raiders.
3rd drive, 3rd offensive possession for the Raiders, and 3rd score for the Raiders. That man right there has been as efficient as you can get playing that position. George Seifert not really sure what he can do to take something away to make it a one-dimensional offense.
Sebastian Janikowski for the extra point. Boots it through, and the Raiders go on top. Late penalty flag down again.
Tell you, Kurt, they're a little straighten this out. That offensive line playing up to what I've seen on tape, looking like the most productive in the NFL this season.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the receiving team, number 57, leaping and landing on players from more than 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage. That foul will be enforced on the kickoff, 15 yards. Timeout.
That's against the rookie Lester Towns, so the extra point stands, and the Raiders own a 17-7 lead after the touchdown to Ricky Dudley.
Watch this fake right here in the backfield from Crockett and from Tyrone Wheatley, and watch the linebackers bite here. And then Dudley, nice job of acting, getting down on the ground and coming up. That was sold by the play of Tyrone Wheatley.
Ricky Dudley, his third touchdown catch of the season. Second of the day for Rich Gannon, both the tight ends.
But Gannon's been outstanding today. 6 of 7 on that drive, 18 of 22 on the day. Rebounding nicely from that 3 interceptions last week.
Because of the personal foul penalty, they kick off from the 45, and Janikowski go through the upright.
Yeah, I think he got a field goal on it.
If this were the NBA, that'd be worth 4 points. Instead, it's just a touchback. Carolina will begin from the 20. First down from the 20. Burline under pressure, flushed out. Pass thrown, ruled incomplete. Penalty marker down on the play.
Illegal use of hands on the offensive line.
That's usually one of those hands to the face.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 64 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
That's called on James Dexter making just his second start because of the injured ankle to Matt Campbell.
Yeah, right here. James inside, working on Darrell Russell. And look at Russell. He gets off so quickly. A great physical talent. Keys the ball very well, very quick off the line of scrimmage. Got into that gap before Dexter had his hands up.
Backs him up to the 10-yard line. First and 20. Crowd getting loud here in Oakland. A handoff taken by Chris Hetherington. He gets the 10 yards back, and 4 more. A gain of 14. Elijah Alexander, new home of NASCAR. What holiday is it?
That's right.
Is it Halloween?
Is it Halloween?
Oh, okay. No,
there
Christmas.
We go.
Now we're sure.
Nah, it's coming out here. It's like a combination of a Kiss concert and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Carolina Panthers called a timeout.
Yeah. And this is like an R-rated stadium.
You don't bring the kiddies out?
Now, the kids come, they got to come with parental guidance, but the problem is the parental guidance.
That's parental guidance right there. That is the problem.
Oh, man,
they were giving players on the Carolina Panthers 3 hours before the game. They were giving them a hard time. They were giving you a hard time in the end zone.
Yeah, they thought that I had Carolina blue on today and that they wanted to send me back to Charlotte.
The problem is, I think I saw you climb out of the stands to get onto the field. I mean, weren't you standing out there part of that?
I had police protection.
These are your kind of people, Baldy.
Oh, man. AC/DC concert with a whole lot of caffeine involved. It is. And they don't just get dressed up for the games. That's what they wear all week long. Total domination here by the Raiders. 3-1 right now.
After the 14-yard run by Hetherington, 2nd and 6. Quick pass broken up. Intended for Chris Mangum, but there was Willie Thomas.
Well, Willie Thomas trying to get his 7th interception of the season. He wants his 7th because that's his career best when he was with the Eagles.
Said he had it already. Got called back on a penalty.
Well, Willie right here. Right here, I mean, just a great feel for the game of football. A guy that's probably undersized at about 225 pounds. But he's never off his feet unless he's diving for an interception. Great balance, great athlete, understands the game.
Most interceptions in the league for a linebacker at 6 since he had 7 in 95.
I went to the Pro Bowl that year.
Panthers got to get to the 30 to keep the drive going. They do. Donald Hayes all the way out to the 31. His forward progress will be there. Eric Allen stopped him. Gain of 7 and a first down for Carolina.
Well, Donald Hayes has really developed this year with the injury to Patrick Jeffers. You know, a big target that's learning the game. One thing that we haven't seen from this Panther team today is, you know, any long ball strikes, any shots down the field. Primarily because Steve is afraid the protection won't hold up.
They get the snap off before the 2-minute warning. Bianca Batuka brought down by Grady Jackson right at the 34-yard line and right at the 2-minute warning. 1:57 officially left to play. So far it's been mostly Raiders. They lead it 17-6.
There's a matchup that hasn't really developed much today. Woodson and Muhammad on each other right now.
Second down, ball thrown incomplete. I think that was intended for Bianca Batuka. William Thomas was in there with the pressure, and Willie T has been all over the place today.
Yeah, Willie T on coverage. Charles Woodson, you know, sometimes the guy just gets bored out there. They don't go his way. I mean, they've been going away from him all day today, and you want to watch him on tape. He's so good. He's so talented, has such a great feel for the game. Sometimes you have to kind of nudge him a little bit. I think that's one of the reasons why Charles wanted to play offense so much, is because he's sort of like that right fielder in T-ball. He doesn't get a lot of action out there in the outfield.
Another third down for the Panthers. They've got to cross the 42 for the first. Burline, pass broken up. Anthony Dorsett got a hand on the ball that was intended for Isaac Byrd.
This game could start to turn right here, as this is the first time the Panthers have been shut down on offense. Isaac Byrd working on the side. Watch the reaction by Dorsett. Anthony Dorsett, another free agent pickup, along with Torrey James this offseason, playing well at the safety position.
Dorsett coming over from the Tennessee Titans, part of that AFC Championship crew from last season. First punt of the ball game, Ken Walter to Darian Gordon. Lets it bounce, and it takes a huge Raider bounce all the way back to the 46-yard line.
According to the Raiders' last 3 losses, they've lost second-half leads. They haven't been able to put teams away, including Seattle last week, against Pittsburgh on the road, and against Denver. This is a chance right here to jump on top of this Carolina team and make it difficult for a struggling offense to come from behind.
First down from the 46. Gannon flushed out of the pocket, keeps it, steps out of bounds, just in Carolina territory at the 49-yard line, a gain of 5.
Now, Rich Gannon is in his 13th year, Kurt. I tell you, he's running away from players out there. Lester Towns, and a rookie, just running away from him. Very efficient offense right now. 2 touchdowns and the field goal, and all because of that man.
You know what's amazing is Gannon is the second leading rusher among quarterbacks in the league, behind Donovan McNabb, but neither one of those teams calls running plays for their quarterbacks, do they?
No, you know, it's really just a last option for Gannon.
Tim Brown now in motion. Gannon with the pass. Randy Jordan slips a tackle. Forced out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 14 more for the Raiders.
Well, they lead the National Football League in rushing, but these backs are all great receivers. Randy Jordan enjoying his best season as a receiver out of the backfield this year. Boy, Gannon got all kinds of time as Darrell Russell gets hit hard as he's been hit all day. Tackling his own man.
Well, a nice afternoon so far by Randy Jordan. 3 catches, 28 yards out of the backfield. Gannon on first down.
Oh, he's got Rising.
Quick pass, and it's caught. Eugene Robinson brought him down right at the 21-yard line, a gain of 13.
Boy, the Rising right there. The Spartan here, number 8, he's going to come in motion. He's going to come working up the field and come across the middle. Finding the dead spot in that zone. Nice throw by Gannon. Excellent protection up front.
Hurry up by the Raiders. Quick pass caught low. Jordan. And Randy Jordan scrambles for 7 more. Lee Woodall with the tackle, and the Raiders take their second timeout.
Boy, the Raiders look tuned up here for the playoffs, don't they, Kurt? That one by Jordan right off his shoelaces. You know, Rich Gannon is a guy that is got a great propensity to study the game. In fact, he was showing up at the practice facility when it was still dark outside, 5 o'clock in the morning, throwing pebbles up at John Gruden's window, trying to get him in this.
Those are the only two guys that were there at that time.
Yeah, the custodians aren't there. There's nobody cleaning up. So finally, Gruden just had a key made for Rich Gannon. Go in there and watch all the tape he wants.
But that's why you get a coach who's a hard worker like Gruden, who loves his quarterback because they're so similar in that nature.
He says, you know, he calls him the Philly cab driver, and one of the reasons was he's kind of like that cab driver in North Philadelphia, speeding, going through lights, not obeying signals, cutting people off, flipping them off, telling you what he thinks. And he says, you know what, that's exactly what this team needs, that kind of a leader. In fact, Andre Rison had him in Kansas City. It was Gannon that got Rison to Oakland. He said, give me the ball. Where's he at? He's out of football. Let's get him here. Let's put him in the black and silver. And he's the second leading receiver.
Second and 1 from the 12-yard line. Tim Brown goes in motion again. And the pass to Brown. Inside the 10 for the first down. Brought down by Jimmy Hitchcock at the 9, a gain of 3.
Gannon take control, wants to kill it here, stop the clock.
And he does.
Remember we showed the reverse motion by Tim Brown in the first quarter. Here it is again. Here he is again, going to freeze this defensive end right here, and he's going to be the safety valve on the throw. 4 receivers over here, comes back to the other side to Tim Brown. Nice job of really deploying the field, using all of the field to your advantage. Tim Brown, the open field one-on-one isn't a bad way to move the ball.
Second and 9, Gannon. Quick pass, Tim Brown fights, diving for the end zone, but didn't make it. Going to be spotted about 6 inches away.
Gannon's going to stop it here.
Raiders call their final timeout with 19 ticks to go.
And we talked about Andre Rison, his counterpart Tim Brown. You know, just been the pros pro here since 1988. And he does it in the right way. Does it by studying, by being in the front row, by taking the notes, by taking care of himself. Andre does it in kind of a different way, you know, a little bit opposites. Andre is in the back of the room with the hat on backwards. But when it comes time to playing, both these guys feeding off of each other.
Both these guys, two of the more...
that broke the plane.
The crowd certainly seems to think it's a touchdown. The Raiders on the sideline seem to think it's a touchdown. Will our referee, Mike Carey, think it's a touchdown?
Well, Bill Richardson is the replay official in the replay booth, and he's the one that saw it on the replay, took a look at it.
Okay. He'll make the call.
After reviewing the play, the receiver broke the plane on the goal line before his elbow hit. Touchdown.
Touchdown, Tim Brown. Touchdown, Oakland Raiders. I saw someone holding a crutch up there.
Couldn't have a better Christmas gift underneath the tree than what these fans are getting from this Raider team here today.
Rich Gannon's 3rd touchdown pass of the day. This one 9 yards to Tim Brown. And it's 23-6 pending the extra point from Janikowski. And it's good. Raiders on top 24-6. Tim Brown, his 11th touchdown of the season, a brand new career high for him.
And the Raiders not having to punt today, extremely efficient on offense. And I think last week losing to Seattle, you know, really sent a message to this team because they should have beat Seattle. They were ahead 24-13 in that game late in the 4th quarter, let it slip away. Sometimes you need that wake-up call before you get to the playoffs. Certainly they're responding today.
And what a response by Rich Gannon. Gannon only 5 of 17, a touchdown and 3 interceptions last week. Bounces back this week, 23 of 28, 3 touchdown passes, including the last one to Tim Brown.
11th on the season. And, you know, one thing about this Raider team, anytime they've lost this year, they've come back and won the next week. No back-to-back losses. You know, no funk, no skids here for this team. They've been able to rebound.
Matter of fact, under John Gruden, they haven't lost 2 games in a row.
And they only played 2 national TV games, Kurt. They play on the West Coast. They've only sold out 3 home games, so they're not on TV a lot. A lot of people around this country haven't had a chance to see the Raiders and see what John Gruden has done here.
Janikowski with another short kickoff. Taken at the 15-yard line. Michael Bates. And just slung down for the tackle by Anthony Dorsett.
Michael Bates, the lone Pro Bowler for the Carolina Panthers, going to represent the whole team in Hawaii. Proud of that. But Anthony Dorsett's a guy that kind of shook some people up this week, saying that he didn't think this team was prepared, that the coaches were too tight. John Gruden.
I don't think John Gruden was...
John wasn't very appreciative of Dorsett's comments.
I don't think he was tight with his response at all.
Yeah. You know, and anybody that knows John's a little wound up, a little tight to begin with, but in a good way. A guy that's focused every day, and that's what he brings to this team.
There's a difference between being intense and tight.
Yeah.
Gruden's intense.
But fun.
14 seconds to go in the first half. Burline gets rid of it. Pass caught. Muhsin Muhammed, just his second catch of the first half. Eric Allen forced him out of bounds.
Well, I think one thing this Panther team will do when they come back for the second half is they've got to go down the field and work on Eric Allen a little bit. Work on these safeties. I mean, you know, one weakness of this team, I think, has been this defense can give up a lot of yards in the secondary. One of the reasons why that happens is the defensive line sometimes starts to slow down, not as intense getting out to the quarterback.
13 yards on the reception. First down from the 41. Burline gets rid of it. Muhammad again into Raider territory. Down to the Oakland 31-yard line. Anthony Dorsett on the tackle, and Carolina uses another timeout.
And that's what I meant, Kirk. This offensive line's given up more sacks in the league this year than any other team, but they gave protection this time to Burline to allow Muhammad to work into the middle of the field. Playing a prevent defense here and doesn't want to get beat deep, and so now they give Nedney field goal position.
.26 yards on the play for Burline, and
well, one thing,
taking the ball with 14 seconds left and getting them in field goal position is an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, and coming in today, they really wanted to rotate quarterbacks, Jeff Lewis and Steve Burline. But Burline has been very good moving this team.
And Oakland has had the ball so much that Burline probably didn't get enough snaps in the first half to warrant the change.
Nedney going to try a shot from about 51 yards here, Kurt. He's 6 for 6 on this field this year.
Officially it is 51 yards out for Joe Nedney. 2 for 2 today. He's got enough leg.
Oh, got inside.
It's through. Joe Nedney with the 51-yard field goal. He's now 3 for 3 this afternoon. And 7 for 7 since being released by the Raiders against the Raiders. 24-9, Oakland on top at halftime. Back in Oakland, where it's been just about all Oakland Raiders, they lead at 24-9. Our Mendy Bach had a chance to catch up with the Raider head man right before the break.
You kept Carolina out of the end zone. What adjustments do you need to make, if any, for the second half?
We got to keep playing. This is a good football team. Carolina is. They're capable of coming back, and we just got to bear down. We can't give up big plays. That's the goal we have in the second half.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck to you. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mendy. In this game, of course, big playoff implications for the Raiders. Should they win it, they will win the AFC West and own the first round bye as the #2 seed coming into the playoffs. I'm Kurt Menefee along with Brian Balding. You take a look at this first half. It's been just about like you would expect. Mostly Raider offense, passing, running, moving the ball downfield just about any way possible.
Extremely crisp, Kurt, I think is the word to describe this offense, and efficient right here today. There's a lot to play for. Certainly that first round bye, a home playoff game. They'd love to be able to heal up some of these injuries. The thing they have to caution about, I think, is exactly what John Gruden said. They can't let up. This Carolina team has really depended on turnovers to create big plays for them. They haven't turned the ball over. They need to do that in the second half.
Well, the Raiders, of course, got several big plays in the passing game. As you look in the first half and you see that 3 touchdown passes by Rich Gannon, but maybe the first one was set up by the big interference call on Eugene Robinson. That's the second touchdown going to Ricky Dudley. And then they come right back to Tim Brown, who stretches, and after a replay or two, it was ruled a touchdown. Carolina did add an extra field goal to make it 24-9, but once again, Rich Gannon really doing a nice job of spreading the ball around. 8 different receivers in the first half.
Yeah, to his backs, to his receivers. He's had a great time, though. Great protection. Rich has had that all year. When the protection does break down, he has that great ability to buy time, running around, using his legs as a last resort. Last week, 3 interceptions. This week, 3 touchdowns in the first half.
Well, he's been as efficient as you can be, just about 23 of 28. And those 3 touchdowns, getting the ball to the open receiver seemingly every time that the guy was there. Didn't matter whether it's a running back, a tight end.
That's a tough throw to Jeremy Brigham in traffic. Certainly James Jett on the outside. Nice touch pass here to Ricky Dudley. So you're seeing the whole arsenal, I think, from this Raiders offense.
Looking at the first half stats, well, it's pretty much like you would think. 241 total yards, 19 first downs, and look at the time of possession.
Yeah, 19 first downs. You'd like to get that in a full ball game. And what they've done by controlling it right now and not punting is holding on to the football and playing keep away from Steve Berline and a couple of good receivers in Muhsin Muhammed and Donald Hayes, guys that really haven't had a chance to make a lot of plays.
Of those 19 first downs, 15 coming through the air on passing plays.
Now, this is a team I think it is multifaceted. As you watch them throughout the course of the year, they can pound you with Tyrone Wheatley and pound you with that big physical offensive line. They also can really slice you up with the short passing game like they did the Panthers in the first half.
Here you see the Raiders running game.
Yeah, right behind Barrett Robbins in the middle, along with Mo Collins at right guard and the Wiz, Steve Wisniewski at left guard. Wheatley said, look, I don't care about 1,000 yards. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm giving all my credit to my offensive lineman.
Sebastian Janikowski kicks off the second half. Another short kick. Finally picked up by Michael Bates. Bates slipped right at the 20, brought down to the 24 by Eric Johnson.
Berline coming out to start the second half. And, last week they rotated quarterbacks. Jeff Lewis came in and played the second quarter, but George Seifert was very adamant. We're going to try to win the football game first. We'd like to still evaluate our quarterbacks. Jeff Lewis, who they have a big investment in and want to find out what he has. Should they bring him back at a big cap value next year? The only way you can evaluate a guy is to play him, but not at the expense of losing the football game. And Berline's played well here today. Just hasn't been on the field enough.
Only 8 minutes in the first half, but he starts here in the third quarter. Trailing at 24-9. Everybody on the defensive line in black jumped on that play. Were they drawn off first? That will be what Mike Carey, our referee, will determine.
Defense, number 90, 5 yards. Still first down, 5 yards to go.
Well, they call it on Grady Jackson, but I think there were about 4 guys you could have given their number.
Guys just a little bit eager to come out, to start the second half. Berline got him on a hard count. Outstanding. You got the field goals. You like to get touchdowns instead of those field goals. I'm sure they talked about that at halftime. Get the ball into the red zone. Let's make sure we get 7 and not 3.
1st and 5. Berline right away to the air to Chris Hetherington out of the backfield. He gets the first down. Marquez Pope forced him out of bounds. Ball will be spotted at the 37-yard line.
Well, this Carolina offense has had to be resilient this year, Kurt, because of the injuries to William Floyd at fullback, Patrick Jeffers, Wesley Walls, and Jeffers accounted for 24 touchdowns last year. Those guys are in the lineup, so guys like Hetherington right now, Carl Hankton, Isaac Bird, they've had to step up and become accountable. They're just not playing at the same level, nor should anybody expect them to play at the same level as a Jeffers or Wall.
3 receivers now in, ball at the 40. The handoff and caught in the backfield, ball comes out. Bianca Batuka fumbles the football and the Raiders recover.
Raider pressure that time all the way across the defensive front.
Darrell Russell with the recovery, the fumble forced by William Thomas.
Darrell Russell playing that 3 technique defensive tackle, gets into playing right here, gets off the ball first. Look at him into the hole there. He gets the pressure. Willie T coming. Actually, that ball was coming out of Bianca Batuka's hands even before Willie Thomas got there. And the Raiders attacking on defense right now.
Short field to work with. They get the ball at the 36-yard line. 2 tight ends in for Oakland. Tyrone Wheatley dancing around inside the 30, down to the 25, a gain of 11. Dean Wells with the tackle.
Well, we put that graphic up to start the second half of where Wheatley's been running. Right up the middle. Most of his runs right behind Robbins here. Going to cut behind Steve Wisniewski at left guard. Wisniewski just washes Tim Morabito inside. Nice read by Wheatley. But in order for that to happen, he has to press the line of scrimmage. You can't make that cut back too soon. Make the linebacker come and play over the top.
Tyrone Wheatley alone in the backfield on first down. He gets the carry. Tries to bounce it outside, but Reggie White had him strung out. Lee Woodall eventually makes the tackle, but White really made the play.
Batuka just not feeling good about that fumble. That ball was coming out of his hands before. It's Tony Wise, the offensive line coach. He's not happy. And that's the area of this team going into next year that they have to upgrade. At running back and along the offensive line. Not wholesale changes. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But they're going to have to upgrade at specific positions.
Wheatley. Met by Dean Wells.
I like the toughness of Tyrone Wheatley sticking it in there, Kurt. And here's a guy that, 2 bad ankles, a bad knee. I mean, hobbling throughout the week, refuses to come out and practice.
Refuses to come out of practice.
Come out of practice.
Yeah.
He said, if I come out of practice, then I'm on the shelf, and it gives somebody else a reason to come out of practice and go up on the shelf. He goes, if I get out there, maybe other guys will get out there as well. So he's becoming a leader. Ricky Dudley now right here at fullback.
And Randy Jordan in at tailback on 3rd and 5.
There he is.
And that's to Dudley. In space, in the end zone. Touchdown, Oakland Raiders. Ricky Dudley's 2nd touchdown reception of the day. 21 yards.
Well, he's back there at fullback because of injuries to Richie. But he likes being back there. It gets him a chance to get a running start to get out into the secondary, and he's hard to get picked up because he runs like a wide receiver. Nice formation that time of use by John Gruden. Only 2 touchdown catches on the year, 2 today, 4 now in the season.
And Janikowski gets the extra point. The Raiders turning the turnover into points. Biaka Batuka fumbled. Ricky Dudley took it in from 21 yards out. It is 31-9. Ricky Dudley turns the Timanga Biaka Batuka fumble into points. Carolina forced to do the comeback thing. Michael Bates coming back to the 30-yard line before he is hit hard by Travion Smith. So far, all Raiders. The Oakland Raiders on top 31-9. A big day for the passing game, especially quarterback Rich Gannon. 4 touchdown passes, tying the career high he set Week 10 against Kansas City. Carolina taking over. Ball at the 30-yard line. Ball maybe at the 32 after the short pickup by Chris Hetherington.
Here's the touchdown from Gannon to Dudley. Dudley this time lines up at fullback in front of Randy Jordan. Here's his man, Lee Woodall right here, loses him in the traffic. Dudley kind of ducks down, and that's all he needs to step on him. Nobody's ever disputed the talent and the running ability of Ricky Dudley. Nice call, excellent execution. Hard to get a smile out of Rich Gannon.
Harder to get a smile out of Steve Berline after his team goes down by 22 points. But he makes the quick pass and it's picked off. Eric Allen, who scored touchdowns in back-to-back games, does it for the 3rd time this season.
Third touchdown in 5 games for Eric Allen. What a renaissance and rejuvenation for Eric Allen, who had major knee construction 2 years ago. Played last year, but now back at 100%, playing at a Pro Bowl level.
Janikowski with the extra point. The 37-yard interception return for a score by Eric Allen puts the Raiders on top 38-9, 11:16 to play in the third.
Eric Allen plays the game with his head. Here he has outside technique on Muhsin Muhammed. Thrown a little behind him. Falls right into Eric Allen's breadbasket.
Michael Bates taking the kickoff at the 4-yard line. Stopped by Travian Smith.
You know, after you throw the interception, now you got to be expected for the guys to come after you. Beuerlein here looking like a crash test dummy. Can't believe it. And believe me, that's the real Beuerlein. And then, you know, the Raider Nation Beuerlein has already been buried down here today. He was on a string earlier being whipped around a little bit the way Steve was at the end of that play. Steve wasn't in the Pro Bowl last year because he doesn't have toughness, though. He'll come back.
To the air, under pressure, gets rid of it, and it's caught. Muhsin Muhammed fights his way out to the 36-yard line, and that pass that was intercepted by Allen intended for Muhammad, so they go right back to him. But you see Allen's 3rd touchdown of the season, 8th of his career, which is 2nd all-time in the NFL.
Well, back in 1993, he had 4 with the Philadelphia Eagles in one season, 98 yards against the Jets. But I was talking to him before the game, and he said that, you know, last year I was coming back from major knee reconstruction. He said that's an 18th-month rehab. He goes, now I'm back to myself, and I'm playing some of the best football I've played.
2nd and short from the 35. Beuerlein up top. Ball intended for Chris Mangum, the tight end, falls dead, incomplete.
Well, that's the play that Beuerlein has thrown to Wesley Walls the last 3 years with so much success. Going right down the seam against the safeties. Here's Mangum right here. Is going to be taking it right down the seam here. Going to pass it off to Marquez Pope. Right there on the play. Actually, Mangum got a little bit behind Pope. Pretty good shot that time by the offense of going for a big play.
Panthers need the 38 for the first. Beuerlein gets it there. Donald Hayes with the catch out to the 42-yard line and a gain of 7. Charles Woodson with the tackle.
Hayes working on the outside against Charles Woodson. Woodson always on the outside, seeing the whole picture inside. Last week he came in with a strip from Ricky Waters from behind, knocked it loose. Muhammad that time getting bumped by Marquez Pope on the inside. Raiders knowing that the Panthers love those slant routes. Got to make them pay on the inside. Oh, man. Back
busted play. I think it was intended for Brad Hoover, but he slipped. And Josh Taves gets the sack on Steve Beuerlein. Ball incomplete. Right through the hands of Michael Bates. And I think that time Marquez Pope was thinking about going to the end zone.
There's the Giants, and well, we don't know if the Vikings yet. We're going to be in that number 2 spot. That may change.
If they lose, New Orleans will move up to that number 2 slot.
And Philadelphia and Tampa Bay in Philadelphia next Sunday. Andy Reid doing a great job in Philadelphia in only his 2nd year.
3rd and 12 for the Carolina Panthers. They've got to get to the 48 of Oakland. Donald Hayes with a sliding grab gets the first down. Right in front of Anthony Dorsett, who made the tackle, but 16 yards on the pass play.
Steve Beuerlein was in the Pro Bowl last year, threw for more yards than any other quarterback in the league a year ago because he has the ability to stand there under pressure, step up into the pocket, come back from adversity of throwing an interception for a touchdown, and finding the open receiver and throwing it accurately.
The first down at the Oakland 44. Beuerlein going up top for Donald Hayes. complete. Eric Allen with the tight coverage.
Perfect coverage by Eric Allen. Eric, knowing that this team needs big plays, going to have to try and press the field a little bit. Plays off Donald Hayes this time, who has a huge height advantage on Eric. See, but Eric Allen gets in front of Hayes, doesn't let him get behind him. Great positioning. Always on the outside in for Eric Allen. And what that allows him to do is to see the whole field, keep everything in front of him.
He's taught Charles Woodson to play like that on the other side, if you listen to the Carolina wide receivers. On second down, Berline to the air again. This time Hayes on the crossing route with the grab. He loses the football. Marquez Pope recovers.
Willie Thomas with the strip that time. The Raiders making it happen all over the field today.
A fumble recovery, an interception, and now another fumble recovery by the Raider defense.
Boy, a couple of ex-Philadelphia Eagles here enjoying the limelight. Eric Allen passing Hayes here. Now here comes Willie Thomas hustling from behind. The right hand here with the strip. Pulled that ball right out. Boy, just great team defense that time. Great hustle by Pope and Charles Woodson going for the ball. Pope coming up with it.
3 possessions, 3 turnovers for Carolina here in the second half. 1st and 10, ball at the 30. Tyrone Wheatley breaks on through. Picks up 6 yards. Lester Towns with the tackle. Take a look at Steve Berline on that last play.
Well, that's what Steve does. I mean, there's not a lot of quarterbacks that know they're going to get crushed by a guy like Lance Johnstone there. Stay in there and deliver the ball. You know, this Carolina team has been living off the turnovers, Kurt. They've created 18 themselves the last 4 games. They haven't been turning the ball over. They're positive 7 on the year. Falling apart here in the 3rd quarter.
7-yard gain for Wheatley. Gets another carry. Fights his way across the 30 for another Raiders first down. First down number 22 on the day for Oakland.
And this is what I would expect here for the Raiders right now, is just pound the football. Let that offensive line go to work. Those 2 great pickups there, Elijah Alexander and Willie Thomas on the defense.
George Seifert, who in his 10 years as a head coach has never had a losing season, coming into this one at 7-8, going to have to fight awfully tough for that not to keep up. From the 41. Gannon scrambling. Finds the first down marker and goes out of bounds. Lee Woodall forces him out. With Gannon 15 yards on the play.
Rich Gannon came in this year today, Kurt, with 86 rushes on the year. Over 30 of those rushes have produced, there it is, 34 first down runs. Probably second to Donovan McNabb of the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's what he provides for this team. They're not designed runs, but what he does is give me the first down and let me get down. And let's go on to first down, move the chains, hold on to the football.
Gets it to the Carolina 44. Randy Jordan.
It's just hard to figure out, period. You're always going to come down to the last day to figure the whole playoff thing out.
Randy Jordan scoots on through. Pickup of about 6.
Randy Jordan, one of 6 players in this Oakland Raider team that were out of football at one time or another throughout their career. And Jordan's a guy that just loves the game of football. He says he can't wait for that other league to start in February. He's going to get tickets up here in the Bay Area to the San Francisco franchise.
Well, he's another one of those guys that probably a year or 2 ago a lot of people thought would be trying to get a paycheck from that league, but he has really solidified his spot on this team with all the injuries they've had at running back.
No question. And he's given this team a real lift the last couple of weeks with Napoleon Kaufman out.
On third down. To Jeremy Brigham. Can't haul it in with one hand. Mike Minter on the coverage.
Boy, one of the few misses by Rich Gannon today. And on third down, be the first punt of the day. Look at this protection over here. Look at Wisniewski over here eating at this game up with Barry Sims. Shane Leckler going to get the first chance today since pregame warm-up to use that leg. The best in the NFL.
Leads the NFL with 46-yard average to Ihane Uwezike, who ran one back last week from 64 yards for a touchdown.
Raiders running the clock down here.
I don't think they had enough players on the field. I'm trying to count.
Yeah.
I think somebody was missing.
Yeah, Eric Johnson just ran off from the sideline.
Delay against the offense. It's refused. Fourth down.
They don't mind trying to take the delay penalty with the ball spotted at the 38, but Carolina won't let him. So all the players are in. Shane Leckler for his first punt of the day. High booming kick. Too much into the end zone for a touchback. Well, from the USS Hornet to a quarterback who has been stung this afternoon by that Raider defense. Steve Beuerlein now out of the game. Jeff Lewis in at quarterback. Lewis last week 6 of 13 playing a quarter against San Diego. You would assume would finish out the game today. Pass broken up. Charles Woodson on Muhsin Muhammed. Penalty marker down.
Actually came to Charles Woodson's side. Most teams so afraid to go over there. This one got to kind of cool down there. Just bumped into the umpire.
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. Automatic. First down.
Well, they call Woodson for pass interference on the play.
Here's Woodson on the outside right here. Looking in as he likes to do, a lot like Eric Allen, seeing the whole field. Yeah, it looks like he got there just a little bit early. Only the 5th defensive pass interference penalty in the secondary all year. Woodson, who came out of Michigan, the Heisman Trophy winner, the only defensive player ever to do it, came in with a world of confidence, got schooled in his first game by Andre Rison of Kansas City in the first half, and since the second half of that game has settled down into the best corner in the league.
3 straight Pro Bowls for Woodson. Jeff Lewis gets the first down, tripped up at the 46-yard line, a gain of 18 on the run.
And that's what they like about Jeff Lewis, and one of the reasons why they made the trade last year, giving up a 3rd and a 5th round pick to Denver for him. He said that his idol, watching this game growing up, has been Rich Gannon. He kind of patterns his game after him.
They have a lot of similarities.
Very similar size, great athletic ability, good arm, and a real student of the game.
On the first down, Lewis. Rolling to his right, gets it off. That pass almost intercepted by Woodson. Charles Woodson got hit right in the helmet with that pass. Woodson came close to picking it off.
Yeah, 2 opportunities and 3 plays for Charles Woodson. There he is, looking outside in, seeing the whole backfield and everything form in front of him. Totally unexpected. Boy, hit him in a bad spot, huh? Hit him in the hands.
Man, he's just not used to guys coming his way. And
no.
They come twice and got the pass interference, and he drops a pick.
Well, Jeff Lewis is a right-handed guy. Most right-handed guys more comfortable rolling to the right. They have a whole different game plan for Jeff Lewis because of his athletic and ability and his mobility. You'll see some rollouts. He has the ability to change plays at the line of scrimmage. You'll see him audible and go to some checks. If the corners play off, looking for him to throw the hitch to the wide receiver.
Lewis acquired before last season from the Denver Broncos for 2 draft picks, 3rd and a 4th. Hands it off to Chris Hetherington. 2-yard pickup. Greg Beekert and William Thomas with the tackle.
This whole Carolina Panther organization has got to make some decisions at a lot of key positions. Certainly the quarterback is one of them. That's why Lewis is in the game. You know, he's due a big cap value next year.
About $5 million he would count against the cap if he stayed.
Certainly Beuerlein wants to come back and play his 15th season.
Well, Lewis has to get him to the 43 for the first down here. Muhsin Muhammed, incomplete. They say the ball hit the ground.
Well, that was a nice job. I was impressed by Lewis that time of staying in there in the face of a lot of pressure, setting and throwing the football here. You see pressure coming from the bottom of the screen. Right there, Reagan Epshaw comes and lowers the boom on Lewis. He stayed in there, threw a strike to Muhsin Muhammed, who says if he can touch it, he can catch it.
It's all yours.
He went down low for it, cradled it, should have caught it.
So Ken Walter in the punt. High kick, Darian Gordon makes it at the 23-yard line. Oakland will take over from there, leading it 38-9. Yeah, that's what we're celebrating. Festivus in Transylvania, I do believe, the way a lot of these folks are dressed.
All right, Curtis, Christmas Eve. You got all your Christmas shopping done?
Yeah, I actually did this year. I did it all online. Well, most of it online this year.
Does it feel the same if you get the gift, you know, in the mail, you know, with some sort of computerized greeting?
I didn't have to stand in line for Toys R Us for hours.
I don't blame you.
Oh, good. Wheatley with the carry. Tyrone Wheatley, his 17th carry of the afternoon, 67 yards rushing.
Now the Raiders look like they have a great shot of winning this football game here, and a guy like Tyrone Wheatley will really benefit as he kind of limps off the field here. And he's been limping through the last month of the season, trying to get those ankles and those knees rested for that first-round playoff game.
And that's why it's so important. If the Raiders get the win today, they will have a bye in the first round as the #2 seed and the AFC West champs, and won't have to play next weekend. Randy Jordan, his replacement, now in at running back. Alvin McKinley with the tackle.
One of the real Iron Men in this league has been at left guard, Steve Wisniewski, in his 12th season right now, 8 of those Pro Bowl seasons. And it just seems like left guards in this league, you know, have longevity and have great careers. Bruce Matthews right here, certainly the senior member of this crew. You know, McDaniel down in Tampa right now, been to 12 Pro Bowls. Larry Allen is just the most dominant offensive lineman in all of football. 6 straight Pro Bowls for him in Dallas. So, you know, that position seems like they have longevity and some of the great players. 4 of the 6 guards in the Pro Bowl this year at left guard.
Raiders on 3rd and 7. Rich Gannon scrambling, gets 7 and goes down. Fell forward for a couple more. Lee Woodall with the tackle, a gain of 9 and a first down for the Raiders. Gannon checking out his nose before he gets up.
Well, another first down rushing for Rich Gannon this time. Wisniewski in the middle, nice job of throwing Rucker to the ground, eating up that stunt, allowing Gannon to take off here. Gannon's head is always up. He knows where the sticks are. Get the first down and get down. Move the chains, hold on to the football, wear the defense down a little bit longer. Just a great presence, a great field general on the field.
First down at the 37. Randy Jordan picks up 4 more. Lester Towns brings him down.
I spent a lot of time looking at the offensive lines in the league this year, and I think this group right here, Wisniewski and Barrett Robbins in the middle, taking the nose tackle Morabito out of the play, is the best offensive line in this league. You know, we always give out quarterback ratings, you know, and we have ways to judge wide receivers. We never judge offensive linemen and offensive lines. I think there's 5 with an A grade, and I think the Raiders are at the top. They lead the league in rushing, giving up only 28 sacks all year. The funny thing about it, all those teams are in the playoffs. No coincidence.
Final minute of the third quarter. Randy Jordan bounces it outside. Caught high by Eugene Robinson and brought down for the tackle. Going to be short of the first down.
Here's Wisniewski working at from the hole of the left guard position. Now this is the guy that You know, look at him. He's looking around the defensive lineman there to see where the linebackers are. Looking at Lester Towns in the middle, the guy he's trying to get to at the second level. You know, and when you've been around for as long as Steve has and Barrett Robbins are in the middle, they know when a team is going to blitz. They're listening to the calls up front. Right now, Barrett Robbins calling out all the traffic from the defensive side.
3rd and 2. Gannon going for that and more. Wide open, James Jett. Mike Minter with the tackle. Well, that's Jett's 4th catch of the day. Good for 20 yards.
Well, Gannon scanning the whole field because of the amount of time that he had. Coming back to Jett on a comeback route. Nice job by Gannon of keeping the eyes looking down the field, trying to find the open man.
Jett came into the day with 16 catches in 15 games. He's got 4 this afternoon, and that takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Raiders on top, 38-9. The Carolina Panthers, 1 more quarter left in this season. The Oakland Raiders, it appears, 1 more quarter before they're crowned AFC West champs.
Yeah, and it's a nice gift here on Christmas Eve, you know, to get that type of, you know, the first time since 1990 to win the West. And really, it's been Rich Gannon here today. He's just been outstanding. Look at the pass distribution. He's giving Christmas gifts out to everybody here, getting everyone involved.
Got him a 1st down at the 36. Quick handoff to Zach Crockett. Picks up 3 yards. Hannibal Navies, who grew up here in Oakland with the tackle, told us he bought about 40 tickets for the family for Christmas.
Well, another young player there in Carolina, I think that they can have to build with for next year. Hannibal Navies coming back off a knee injury earlier this year, finally getting healthy. Got great speed at the linebacker position.
Kirby gets the handoff and springs it outside. Kirby with the block in front of him. Down inside the 5-yard line before Eugene Robinson grabs him at the 4. A pickup of 27.
It doesn't really matter who carries the football here, does it?
No, it doesn't. Not when you got guys like Steve Wisniewski in front of you, huh?
Well, let's talk about the right side. Lincoln Kennedy here at right tackle and Mo Collins here at right guard. They seal things off inside. Nice block on the outside by Jeremy Brigham. Now Andre Rison getting involved in the action down the field. That's the 5th different halfback to carry the football for the Raiders this year. Heck, the Panthers would just like to have 1 halfback.
Terry Kirby on 1st and goal. Stopped by Lester Towns. Pickup of a yard. Raiders in the red zone have been pretty good, to say the least, this afternoon. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns.
How about perfecto? Against a team that was 2nd in the league in defending the red zone. I mean, the Panthers, next to Pittsburgh, best in the entire National Football League, not allowing teams in there. But execution will beat you every time. 3 wide receiver look this time.
With Terry Kirby, the lone man in the
crossing route.
Kirby all alone gets the carry. Al Lucas gets the tackle. Another 1-yard gain.
Wisniewski, he's working today. And they've been on the field a long time. A lot of snaps for the offense, and that's a good sign. You can see the helmet up here with the scratches. I mean, you know, they recondition those helmets after every single game, and a lot of linemen will come in there after a game. They'll take a look at the helmet to see how they played. That helmet gets all scratched up. Yeah, that's your badge of honor there.
The all-helmet team Wisniewski's a member of today, the way that one looks. 3rd and goal from the 2. Gannon off the play fake. Jeremy Brigham makes the grab. Touchdown Raiders. Jeremy Brigham, his 2nd touchdown reception of the day.
And 2nd of the season.
And 4th to a tight end today.
There's Brigham just working on the outside against Evans. Goes up high for this ball. Goes up and grabs the ball. Never allows Evans to have a chance for it. Went up and took it up to the highest point. The Raiders, who scored 7 touchdowns against the Chiefs here earlier this year, trying to do that again today.
Danikowski off the high snap, gets the extra point through. Another touchdown pass for Rich Gannon, his 5th of the day. This one from 2 yards out to Jeremy Brigham. Been nothing but smooth sailing so far for the Raiders as they lead it 45-9. Michael Bates back to take the kickoff from his own 5-yard line. Wow. There's some hitting going on down there. The first guy to meet him, Mondrell Fulcher. Travion Smith helped out. Back in Oakland, 45-9. Raiders on top, just under 12 minutes left to go in the 2000 regular season. Jeff Lewis still in at quarterback for Carolina. Movement. Raiders pointing at the Panthers, Panthers pointing at the Raiders.
Yeah, and the Raiders defensive line, they smell some blood in the water. You know, they know Jeff Lewis is going to throw the ball. They want to go get some sacks.
False start, offense, number 75, 5 yards, first down.
That's on the left tackle. Clarence Jones is the penalty. Charles Woodson.
Yeah, there's Charles Woodson. That number 24 jersey, Kurt, the most popular selling jersey in the entire National Football League. And you see him everywhere here. You see him throughout the city of Oakland. In fact, you mentioned it, Kurt. You see more fans wearing Raider paraphernalia in this stadium than you do fans in any other stadium.
Any other stadium we go to anywhere else in the league.
Practically everybody's in a Raider shirt.
1st and 15 from the 14. Muhsin Muhammed out to the 20-yard line, a gain of 6. Elijah Alexander on the tackle, and for Muhammad, that's his 5th catch of the day. He came into this game 9 catches behind Ed McCaffrey, who leads the league after his game yesterday with 101.
Well, out of the playoffs, he said, look, you know, why not go get some stats? He wants 100 catches this year. Well, right now at 97 for the season, and coming into today, more catches than any other receiver in the NFC the last 2 years. Woodson coming on a blitz. Lewis sees him. Here he is right here.
And Lewis goes back.
Woodson goes back.
He's still coming. Lewis just throwing it up. Penalty marker thrown down.
Anthony Dorsett with the coverage.
Threw it in the area of Donald Hayes.
Those are pass interference. Defense, number 24. Automatic. First down.
That's on Charles Woodson, his 2nd penalty of the day.
Charles Woodson here is blitzing on the play. Here he is. Now Jeff Lewis audibles. Woodson goes back, but he wants to get to the quarterback.
Interference is on number 33. First down.
Okay, so they changed the call. It's on Anthony Dorsett, number 33.
Woodson wants to come on the blitz, and here's Dorsett. The ball's in the air. Gets a hit on Donald Hayes. We just call balls in the air, and he contacted him.
Carolina with a first down at the 28. Quick pass out to Donald Hayes, who slips, picks up maybe a yard. Charles Woodson on the tackle. Raiders showing blitz. They come. Lewis got rid of it in time to Muhammad. Needed to get out to the 38-yard line for the first down. They're going to spot it at the 37. 8-yard gain, going to be just short.
Jeff Lewis hasn't been in the game that long, but he's got some grass stains. And his jersey's starting to get pretty gruffed up right now by that hungry defensive line of the Raiders. See, nothing on the front. All the stains are on the back.
That's not a good sign, is it?
That's not good. He's staying in there. He's delivering the football, and he's taking his shots. And, well, nobody wants to be evaluated when it's 45-9.
And Lewis going to call the timeout. First timeout of the second half taken by either team. 9:49 left to play.
This is what happened during the break there. Rich Gannon going into the locker room. Don't know if there's anything wrong. You see the elbow's pretty well skinned up, but the backup quarterbacks to Gannon in the last 2 years have only thrown 7 passes. He's the reason for this team's success.
On 3rd and 1, they try the quarterback sneak with Jeff Lewis. Does Carolina?
Lewis trying to get some skid marks on the front of his jersey there.
Double up his dry cleaning bill there.
I mentioned that, Jeff Lewis here, he said, look, I want to get some playing time. That's the only way I can be evaluated. This is my 5th year in the league. I've played very little. a quarter last week, playing the second half here today. You know, I came out of college out of Northern Arizona. I was the top prospect in football.
But he hurt his shoulder coming out of school, and then when he was with Denver, injured his knee playing basketball. First down from the 39-yard line. Lewis. Pass. Incomplete. Right through the hands of Muhsin Muhammed.
Hit his chest, Kirk. Yeah, he's got to catch the ball away from his body. More Woodson jerseys right there.
There may be a lot more Raider jerseys purchased in this area after this team wraps up this AFC West Division crown, which they will with a win. Lewis rolls out under pressure, brought down. Grady Jackson. Second sack of the day for him. Second sack of the day for the Raider D.
Well, the road grader now can move side to side pretty well. There's Johnstone coming around the edge of Clarence Jones, and there's 90 Grady Jackson in the middle. Been a real good player for him. Doesn't like to come off the field. Great against the run. Leads this team in sacks this year.
Now got 8.5 after his 2-sack day.
Lance Johnstone from Temple. They're on North Broad Street. Mentioning a couple of ex-Philadelphia Eagles out here today. Willie Thomas, Eric Allen, Reggie White, and Lance Johnstone from Broad Street.
Play clock ran down, but right before Carolina got their second timeout of the second half. Just under 8.5 minutes to play in the season for the Panthers. They're down 45-9.
Show we don't get those shots without Joe Assetti. You got the magic doll for Christmas, Ben? Got that one online?
That brings a lot of Christmas cheer to the house, doesn't it? Jeff Lewis gets it off. Brad Hoover slips the tackle. Fights his way out to the 29-yard line. Nice job for a 2-yard pickup. Let's send it down to the field, and the third member of our crew, Mindy Bach. Mindy.
Well, they took Gannon back to the locker room just to check out his nose. He should be fine, but they also want to give Bobby Hoying some reps here today, so Gannon should be back on the sideline to watch the rest of the game. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Mindy.
Gannon real banged up, hyperextended his knee last week, fighting through some injuries, and he's going to get a week off to let those heal.
Ken Walter to Darian Gordon. Right at the 30-yard line. Gordon with the seam. He's got the punter to beat. And Ken Walter forces him out of bounds. At the 45 of Carolina, 41-yard punt for Walter, 36 on the return by Darian Gordon.
Boy, they got a short punt here, a nice wall set up to the right here. Gordon gets to the wall, excellent block by Alexander there and Randy Jordan. And now Gordon all has to do is beat the punter. Nice job by Michael Bates using the sideline to get him out of bounds. With the Raiders hitting on all cylinders here as they get tuned up for the playoffs.
Bobby Hoying now in at quarterback for the Raiders. Just his second action of the season, threw 2 passes, both incomplete against Cleveland in September. Starting from the 45 of Carolina. Short handoff, Zach Crockett.
Well, Bobby Hoying in the lineup right now, getting kind of a Christmas treat himself. Tell you, backup quarterback here in Oakland the last 2 years. Haven't had many opportunities to play. In fact, backup quarterbacks have only attempted 7 passes the last 2 years.
After the 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4 from the 29. That's Terry Kirby. Sean Gilbert with the tackle.
And generally, if you're the backup quarterback coming in here for the Raiders, that's what you do.
Yeah.
It means the game is out of reach and you're just trying to run out the clock.
So probably not a lot more passing for him tonight either.
Well, Bobby was with John Gruden with the Philadelphia Eagles when John was the offensive coordinator there. And when he came here last year, he took Bobby. He said, a guy that really lost his confidence in the '97 season in Philadelphia. Reclaimed him here, been working with him, studying under Rich Gannon.
You see Gannon back on the sidelines watching Hoying on 3rd down. They need 2 for the first. Terry Kirby gets those 2. down to the 19-yard line, a gain of 8 and another first down. Lester Towns with the tackle. So the Raiders looking to go to 12-4. They're just under 6 minutes away from that.
And Reggie there, maybe his final game as a pro, coming back out of retirement this year. Going to get both shoulders operated on after the season. Living in Charlotte, North Carolina, Lake Norman out there, so spend some time with the family, think things over a little bit.
Gary Kirby. Alvin McKinley gets him after a pickup of 3, and there you see the playoff picture in the NFC. The Giants, the #1 seed, Minnesota 2nd. Next week, the wild card games will have St. Louis and New Orleans for you here on Fox on Sunday.
What a rematch down there in the Crescent City, in the Superdome, and then certainly Philadelphia and Tampa. In Philadelphia, Andy Reid doing a great job with the Eagles. Giving Oakland the first-round bye. We'll find out tomorrow night. Tennessee playing Dallas down in Dallas. They win, they'll have the first-round bye.
The pitch out to Kirby. Terry Kirby going to lose a couple of yards. Mike Rucker gets him down at the 20-yard line.
You see a Raider was going to lose a couple of yards?
That's the first time we've said that today, and
the first negative play all day.
Yeah, the Raiders haven't heard that much this season.
Now they're the 6th-ranked offense coming into today, Kurt, and probably the most balanced offense in all of football. But if you play in the AFC West, you play in a lot of shootouts. Tennessee with Denver with an outstanding offense. Kansas City with a wide-open offense. They got rid of Marty Ball. They're throwing the ball down the field. You've got to score points in this division in order to win games. A lot of points.
Well, the Raiders need 10 yards to keep this drive going. They've got to get it right to the 10-yard line. Terry Kirby on the draw play. Not going to make it. Stopped by Hannibal Navies at about the 12. Gain of 8. Raider fans trying to encourage the men in black to go for it. And on 4th down, they send Zach Crockett in, and it appears as though they are.
This is a team that on 3rd and 3 to 5, 4th and 3 to 5, they are not afraid to just run the football. They have that kind of confidence in their offensive line.
Now it's on 4th down. Once again, they've got to get to the 10-yard line for the first. Terry Kirby not gonna make it. Nice stand by the front of the Carolina Panthers, preventing the first down. Lee Woodall was the first guy to get there.
Now they ran right behind Wisniewski and Barry Sims over there that time. Wisniewski off the fan. He's got his fan club here with the Raiders. Running right behind the left side. Barry Sims there, number 65, did a nice job filling in a guy that they've really found over in NFL Europe.
Wisniewski.
Yeah.
Going to share some love with that fan club you talked about.
I know what Wisniewski said. He said, I don't want to go to the Pro Bowl next year and be the 9th Pro Bowler, the most ever by a Raider, because Howie Long and Art Shell, Tim Brown, those guys, I think, define the Raiders more than me, and I don't want to take anything away from them. I'm an unselfish, thought by Steve Wisniewski.
Muhsin Muhammed with the grab out to the 15-yard line, a pickup of 3, and Wisniewski bringing his kids out of the stand to join him on the field as so many of the Raiders begin to celebrate winning the first division championship in this team's history in 10 years.
Now I'm watching Wisniewski here with his kids and his wife, and he's a guy that has the a Jekyll and Hyde mentality. He is a warrior on the field, Kirk. Plays to the whistle. Some people have said Steve's a dirty player. I never thought so. Not afraid to chip people off the pile, but a religious man, a family man off the field, really a gentle guy away from the field.
Lewis on 2nd and 5. Pass intended from Muhsin Muhammed.
Looks like a family picture's lining up for Christmas, huh?
It looks like he's looking for more family members.
Well, he's one of the guys here, Kurt, that was here in 1990 down in Los Angeles when the Raiders last hosted a playoff game. Along with Tim Brown, there's not many guys left from even the last playoff team of 1993.
Yeah, they last won the division in 90, last playoff team in 93, both under Art Shell, and Lots of changes since then before getting back.
Well, John Gruden has said, people said, this team can't finish games, they can't put teams away, but they've got 23 new players from a year ago.
Pass to Muhsin Muhammed, catch number 100 on the season for Muhammad. Gets a first down as well for Carolina, and Muhammad wanted to get to that 100 catch mark. He does, and we don't know what Chris Carter is doing against Indianapolis. He also had 92 catches coming into the day.
Well, he's just been a real pro there in Carolina. Some hugs from his teammates. They know it's his 100th catch. They're talking about it on the sideline.
Well, he's still just one behind Ed McCaffrey, who has one-on-one. The Raiders 2 minutes away from a division championship. Well, Baldy, what do you think that bucket might be for there, huh? Jeez, I wonder.
I think John Gruden is getting ready for an ice shower. Not a nice shower, an ice shower.
They filled that to the brim, didn't they? Carolina. Incomplete on first down from the 26. Pass intended for Donald Hayes. Are they trying to freeze him out or what?
Let me tell you something. That man has got ice water advantage. Still the youngest coach in the NFL, and what a great job he's done. He inherited a team in 1998 that was 4-12 in 97. And he had Jeff George there, and he knew that if they were going to advance to become a playoff team, he needed a quarterback. He went out and got Rich Gannon last year, and they went 8-8, 8-8. Now they broke through. A little bit the way Jeff Fisher did in Tennessee.
Quick pass caught after being batted at the line of scrimmage. Chris Mangum makes the grab right near the first down marker. Josh Taves on the tackle, and the question of the day, about the only question we've got left, is when will that bucket meet Mr. Gruden?
And who's going to do it? Who does the honor? I see Rich Gannon kind of lining up in front of it.
You need a blocker. There's a whole system. You can't just walk up with it. You got to have some protection.
I think the linemen are celebrating too much right now. They're enjoying. I mean, I always said as an offensive line, if you can get over 100 yards rushing and not give up a sack and win, that's a great day. And they've had a lot of days like that here in Oakland this year. I think a team that anybody is going to have trouble with here playoffs. I mean, they're going to give people fits because
here
of the balance
They're grabbing the bucket. Lincoln Kennedy and Darrell Russell.
Let's see how good they are with it. A couple of linemen with big hands here. Let's see how they handle this.
They're trying to capture Gruden. They're trying to trap him. Tyrone Wheatley has the responsibility of getting him, and they get him. Meanwhile, the Panthers continue to play. That's catch number 102 for Muhsin Muhammed on the year. But more importantly, a big celebration on that Raiders sideline. John Gruden doused as the champions of the AFC West.
The son of a coach, his brother's a coach in the Arena League, and all he ever wanted to do was be a head coach. At one time, was on George Seifert's staff in San Francisco, hanging out of Bob McKittrick's offensive line room, just taking notes. A lot of notes now, leading to an AFC West crown.
Up top for Muhammad, ball falls incomplete. And John Gruden and his team one play away from winning the first division title for the Raiders in 10 years.
And his team is for real, and Al Davis said, just win, baby, and that's what he's done. Everybody said, don't go to Oakland. You don't want to play for the man, Al Davis. He's difficult. He'll interfere. John said, I want to go play for the man. I want to pick his brain. I want to pick football. I want to learn with him. And it's been a good marriage between the two. And they'll be back here in a couple of weeks to see this team in the second round of the playoffs.
Most likely the final play of the game. Lewis to Brad Hoover. Brought down for the tackle. Ball pops out. And the Raiders have recovered. Darian Gordon down the sideline. And this is how the Raiders will crown it off. There's your AFC West champion scoring a 74-yard touchdown on the final play of the game. Game day sweepstakes by logging on to foxsports.com. And of course, that 74-yard fumble return for the touchdown by Darian Gordon as the clock hit 0. Gets the Raiders 51 points, a season high for them, and everyone was on the field celebrating. The officials, though, clearing them off to bring them out to get the extra point kicked.
That just gives the fans more chances to celebrate here.
Brad Hoover being brought down by Josh Taves, and the ball pops out. Gordon picks it up.
And the convoy takes it to the end zone. The fans don't mind it. It keeps them in the stadium, allows them to celebrate a little bit longer and enjoy the new AFC West division champions.
Well, the Oakland City of Champions, of course, the Oakland A's won the American League West title.
I asked Al Davis the last time they played a home playoff game here at this stadium. He had a hard time remembering. We go back to 1980.
Sebastian Janikowski going to get the extra point to make it official. The Oakland Raiders have the victory 52-9. John Gruden running out onto the field to celebrate this title with the crowd.
John Gruden taking a victory lap, showing his appreciation to the fans here in Oakland.
A well-deserved victory for Gruden. Nice celebration as the Raiders win it 52-9.